Hiya! Welcome to Reading Wednesday. It's a new thing starting now. Literally the first time. Glad you're here for it. This is monumental. This is historic. I'm kidding. That is gross misuse of those words. Anyway, but today on Reading Wednesdays, I am going to talk about Nic Stone's Jackpot. This book right here. And let me just give a brief overview of what this video is going to be like, because it's not like all book reviews. The reason I first got this idea is I hate this cover. You may look at that and you may think, that's awesome. Person of color, I'm going to read it, because that's refreshing. Of course, that's what I thought. And it was, but I hated the cover. Because that's a person of color, but I'm just looking at that. I'm like, a person of color did not draw that hair, because it is very stiff. It's like if a non-person of color drew what they thought, a person of color's hair would look like, but it's just, and you tried, and hats off for that, but unfortunately, I give it an F. So I'm just gonna redraw it. I'm gonna redraw the characters as to what I think they would look like, and from the descriptions in the book itself. And then that's going to be like on a time lapse over this side while I'm talking about some pros and cons of Nic Stone's Jackpot. And to start off this review, I just want to read the inside cover, because that's what I always do. I feel like who picks up a book and you don't read the inside cover? It doesn't make sense. Here we go. To-do list. School. Barf. 5-hour shift at the Gas and Go. Get little bro from sitter and ready for bed. Repeat and again. When a $100 million lottery ticket from her store goes unclaimed, Rico Donger, that's Donger, thank you very much, has to find the winner. If she can unite the ticket holder with the cash, maybe Rico will finally catch a lucky break, and a cut of the winnings. Not me not knowing how to read. You can't start a book channel and not know how to read. But anyway, I digress. For help with her mission, she recruits popular and wildly wealthy Zan Macklin, the only other person who saw the suspected winner. As the hunt rolls on, the unlikely pair discovers things they weren't expecting, hidden resentments, shared struggles, and maybe even friendship. But what happens when haves and have-nots collide? Will this particular shared goal unite or divide? New York Times bestselling author Nic Stone creates unforgettable characters and an unforgettable story with unforgettable truths about class, money, dreaming big, and taking control of your own life. So let's get into it. Did she succeed? Now, to be fair, this is the first book I ever read of Nic Stone. She's known mostly for Dear Martin, which is a more serious YA novel about a black teenager struggling to be black in America. And if I wasn't so sensitive to racial struggles like my own and then just like in general, I would read that book. But I am very sensitive and don't feel like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry right now, So I have not read that. And maybe one day I will, but this was the first Nic Stone book I read. And so let's just divide this up. First pro was definitely characterization. I think Nic Stone she did so well with the main character, Rico, just a black girl. And she was very relatable. She was very nice to get to know, and she was so easy to root for. And she was also a smart character. She didn't make many dumb decisions. Sometimes it's like you have to put a book down because the characters are making such stupid decisions. You're just like, this is almost attacking me with secondhand embarrassment. It's like, I would never do this. Why are we doing this? For the sake of the plot and, conflict that I can read through? No, thank you. No, thank you. So, anyway. But she didn't do that. She really didn't make many dumb decisions, other than the standard dumb decisions I think are required in romance. They always have to make those dumb, oh my god, we can't be together, Zan. We can't love each other. It's not that easy. It's not that simple. I wish it was. And it's like, Stephanie, it literally is. It could be. You literally just could be together, but like you're just not doing it for, page length. Anyway, but other than that, she was pretty smart. The voice of the book was really nice too, because Nic Stone, it's like, of course she's not a teenager. Nic Stone is an adult writing a teenager's voice, but it was believable, and you forgot that it's not a teenager you're reading about, which is really good. I hate that when it's like, you can tell sometimes, several Netflix movies do it, where it's just like, this is a grown man trying to put himself in the mind of a teenager, and it's not working. It does not fit. He is not Cinderella. This does not fit. He is the stepsister. This is not working. But she is Cinderella in this. I don't know if that analogy made sense. Hope I didn't lose you there. I apologize. Anyway. But yeah, Rico was really relatable. If I was like, if she was a real person, I always ask myself really, like, if the characters were real, would I be friends with them? And I'd definitely be friends with Rico. And I'd be friends with Zan too, but I probably would not, because he was rich and popular, and let's be honest, I was not in those circles in high school. Willingly so. I never wanted to be in those circles. Also, all the popular kids, this is a tangent, but all the popular kids at my school were just like so not funny. They had the personalities of like wet cardboard. That's just been left in the rain, and you meant to take it to the dump, but you forgot, and now it's wet, and it's just not appealing. That's the personalities they had, but they were pretty, and that's all that mattered at the time. So anyway, so deep and dark for no reason. But the characterization of Rico and Zan is really good, and the voice was really believable as a teenage girl. Also, the tone was pretty light. I mean, it got dark sometimes, like some things happened to her family that pushed the story along and raised the stakes, but it never feels hopeless, which I think is really good for like a YA novel, because I think YAs, you typically leave like the dark and more serious subject matter to like adult books. I give you full permission to like crush my hopes and dreams in an adult novel, but in like a young adult thing, I'm like, you better slow it down. Better slow it down and have sympathy, because I can't take it. Alright, so characterization is a plus. Voice was awesome. She had this is like another writing thing that really, she had the perspective of inanimate objects throughout. So she talks from the lottery ticket they're trying to find, and then like a word from the list Rico made a couple days ago and then threw away. It's like literally one of the things, and it's just a nice little excerpt to like break up the actual story and plot, which is really nice. Which goes into my next point, which is pacing. And I think the pacing was perfect in this book. It never gave you a chance to really put it down. It never gave you a reason to say, oh, there's a real lull in action here. I'm not going to be able to read this in one sitting. Let me just go make myself a ham sandwich. Like that ham sandwich was never made. You just read the book. And I think that's a really good sign of like a seasoned author, because it's so easy to just like have a natural, well, I won't say easy, but it's easy to have a natural writing talent, and you can put sentences together, string words together, and they sound really pretty, and it's like, oh, that sounds so poetic and deep, but can you actually make a story that I want to read? Can you craft a story? Yeah, you can put like some good sentences together, but can you craft a story? And Nic Stone said, yes, ma'am, I can. Yes, I can. And I was like, okay, she did it. She really did it. Like I read this in like a week, maybe like 2 days. It was really quick. I just didn't want to put it down, and I was, like I said, the characterization, once you feel for a character, you want to know how it ends. You want them to succeed. So I was just like blazing through this. Like if you're having a reading slump, which many readers are prone to do, because we're not perfect. You can read all the time, and there's people who do, where I just look on it all. I'm just like, what do you have going on in there that I just don't understand? They read like 60 books a year, like minimum, and I'm just like, what update did you get that I did not? I don't understand. But anyway, not talking about that. If you're having a reading slump, I would definitely recommend this because it's a light-hearted, fun little read that, you know, like the pacing is really good. Everything is very consistent. It completely goes up, you know, one thing after another, exciting. They're just looking for this lottery ticket, so, I mean, they're just like tracking down people, and they have really good dialogue too that keeps you interested even when like when you think it would be a dull moment or we don't really know what our next step is. The chemistry between these two fictional characters is off the charts. It was off the charts. Rico Donger and then Zan Macklin had it going on. It was fireworks. It was fireworks at a Disney park 24/7, never closed. In a scenario where COVID does not exist. Anyway, but they had it, they were popping off. They were popping off, okay? And also, like, their dialogue was just so freaking cute. They, like, freaking Nic Stone, it's like she created banter. She was the beginning. She was the first. Their banter was so cute, okay? And I also loved that this little well, he's not a white boy. He's actually, we find out he's, like, Latinx. I think his mother is like Hispanic, or maybe his dad is, and then his mom's white. I really don't know. He's a Latina, okay? He's a Latino. That's what he is. Hit the camera there. Sorry about that. He's a Latino, but he was like this white passing dude. I was really for him just being, he's like, Rico is gorgeous. From day one, he was like, she gorgeous. She cute. I like her. And I was like, I like that you like her, because she is fire. But they were really cute together, and I shipped them a lot, like, the whole time. Sometimes you have those romances where it's just like, you understand that the author thought they were doing something, and you're like, I understand the author ships it. You know, I get it. The author's like, these people are great. OTP, you know, one true pairing and stuff. But you're just like, I don't feel that. I didn't get that through the page. I was like, these are like, you just put like two biscuits together, but there's no butter. There's no butter. It's just dry biscuits. There ain't nothing going on. Just boring. That was not this. It was, you know, Zan and Rico were salt and pepper. They were salt and pepper, peanut butter and jelly. They were like this, and it was nourishment. My crops were watered. And it felt like fan service. No, there wasn't any fan service, actually. I'm gonna take that back. It wasn't fan service, but like, they were really good together. I liked them. None of the scenes dragged when they were together. Like, you were just happy reading it. It was good. Happy reading. Anyway, that goes on to the cons of Jackpot. And one of those cons is definitely going to be that, like, okay, so Rico is poor. She's poor. She ain't got no money on her card. And that's okay. That's okay. But what was not is that sometimes it felt like her being poor was like her whole personality trait. You know, like if she was filling out a questionnaire and they asked her like, oh, what's something you do for fun, or like, tell us something about yourself, she'd be like, I'd be counting my money. You know, I'd be poor. I'm in the streets. Like, that would be like something she wrote down, just because of how often it was brought to our attention that she's poor. Like, as if we would forget sometimes. And I'm like, we're not gonna forget. We understand the whole plot revolves around her being poor. You know, because she's trying to find this lottery ticket and hopefully get a cut of the winnings if she can get the person who won it to turn it in. But, yeah, it just felt too much. It's too heavy-handed sometimes. Even though I do understand, unfortunately, when you are poor, it can be like, it feels like it is your whole personality, because you're stressing out and worrying about bills and if you're going to be able to pay those and rent and if you're going to have a roof over your head the next month. So I get it. But at the same time, it just felt a little too much sometimes. And then that gives like another thing that's just really nitpicky on my end, but more so like the fact she goes to this school where everyone else is like obviously not poor, and she was complaining about having to wear thrift store clothes and like, you know, hand-me-downs basically. but like thrift store. She was like, everyone else has designer jeans and I got to go to Goodwill. And I'm like, that's not a bad thing in 2021 or this century anymore. You know, if you ask someone like where they got their shirt from and they tell you it's Goodwill, like that's a flex. It's like, I just cheated capitalism, son. I just cheated capitalism right there. I got this for $3.50. This shirt actually came from Goodwill. I got this from, or did it? I don't know where I got this. I know I didn't buy it from like a real store though. I know that. And I also know the day that I paid $30 for some jeans is the day that an alien has snatched my body, because that is not me. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I refuse. Every part of me is like, absolutely not. I will not. Okay? So if you tell me that you got sneakers and they were like $60, I'm not going to look at you impressed. I'm going to look at you like you a victim. You a victim of a lack of willpower and self-love. Because why would you pay that much for that, my guy? I could have gone on Mercari and got those for $25. Free shipping. It don't make sense. So that was one of the things I was just like, not this girl complaining about wearing thrift store clothes, and thrift stores are cool now. Thrifting is cool. You ain't heard that Macklemore song, girl. Get out of here. So that was one of the cons. And my biggest con with Jackpot, honestly, and Nic Stone personally, like me and Nic Stone, we could open up an Arby's. We have so much beef over this. They were so cute. They were cute. I was shipping them. I was rooting for them from the get-go. They get to a point in the relationship where this man is just asking for a hug. He just wants a hug because he likes her so much. And she cute, she pretty, so why not? Let me get a hug real quick. And it was cute. They even did that thing. They cuddled on a couch, and then they did that thing where it's like they wake up and it's like, oh my god, your arms around me, like how'd this happen? What? Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. You know, they did that. But then Nic Stone had the audacity to just give us an ambiguous ending. She did all that, and hit us with an ambiguous ending. And I was like, I feel betrayed. This is like, no. This doesn't make sense. This is like if I've been married for 25 years and then my husband, Roger, comes home to tell me he's got a second family in Cancun. It comes out of nowhere. Like, it's just not what I was expecting. And that's how I felt about the ending. They legit, like, they're like, we're gonna try to be friends. And I'm like, we already know what it's like to be friends, baby. Tell me that they got, like, not married, but, you know, they started dating and, you know, have them hold hands or something. Come on, Nick. After everything we've been through, you gonna hit me with the ambiguous ending? You done told me all of this story and you can't wrap it up? That made me so mad. I legit just wanted to backhand her. I wanted to backhand Nick, even though I ain't never gonna talk to Nic Stone, and if I did, I wouldn't bring this up, because she is a queen. But I wanted to backhand her with the strength of Venus Williams. I was just distraught, upset. Not how I thought I would feel after finishing this book, after having such a good time and nice reading experience, just to be smacked in the face with some, I've been told the story up until this point, but now suddenly I gotta use my imagination. This ain't SpongeBob. But let me read the review I originally wrote, like I think in October of last year, 2020, and how it stacks up to my current feelings and current mood, which I think is pretty gosh darn diggity ding dong close. Here we go. So I thought this book would end with me wanting to give Nic Stone a hug, but that ending, I want to backhand her into the sun. What kind of ambiguous bullcrap is that? The romance and banter between Zan and Rico was the best I've ever read. So sweet and perfect, the way Zan adored her, only for them to end up as friends. Yeah, to kiss once and try being friends. Sure, I can imagine the ending, but I wanted you to make it final, Nick. I feel cheated, teased, betrayed. I feel like an entitled white male named Chad who got rejected at a frat party, and how dare Stone make me feel this way? I absolutely devoured this book though. Nic has got one heck of a voice and it's hard not to listen to. Dang, it was good, just screw that ending and this boring cover that doesn't do Zan's ethnic background or threaded brows justice. And it truly does not. They kept talking about his threaded brows. They kept talking about his threaded brows and hit him with this. Hit him with that. What? Disrespectful. What did Zan do to you? Other than not seal the deal. Other than not wife up Rico. But whatever. Those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on Jackpot by Nic Stone. Still a good book. I still recommend it. I gave it 4 stars. It would have been 5 if they had just sealed the deal with a kiss. Would have been 5. But it's a solid 4. And it's a confident 4. Like, it is a good book, I think. I love it. It was great. Other than that ambiguous ending that I can't talk enough about. I'm just some bull. That's some bull. Here is the redrawing of Zan and what's your face? Rico. I gave him some more brows. It's not, let's be honest. I'm gonna be honest here. From an artistic standpoint, it's not my best work. It's not my best drawing in the sketchbook. It's not my best drawing ever. But it satisfies me for what I wanted. Like, I'm like, compared to the actual book, like, I'm happy with it. You know? I'm like, I set out what I wanted to do. I did what I set out to do, you know? Okay, so that's the end of this Reading Wednesday and review. I am currently reading 3 books. Frankly in Love by David Yoon, not going great. War Girls by Tochi Onyebuchi. Totally butchered that, most likely. Really good. It's a man writing female characters and the misogyny did not pop out, so you know, it's really great. And then what do I have? One of the Good Ones, written by 2 sisters. Micah Mulite, I don't know, and Maritza Mulite. And it's really great too. So those are the books I'm reading currently. And I don't know, but the next video I'm gonna make is gonna be on Little Women, which I've already read, and I'll just have to check back out. And I'm gonna be talking about the oldest ship war ever, Amy and Laurie, or Laurie and Joe. I'm kidding, but no, I'm not. Amy and Laurie is the answer. And in the next video, I'll tell you why. Thank you for joining me this Reading Wednesday. Go read a book, or maybe not, I don't know. Relax and have some thoughts. Bye-bye.